Hi guys! What we're going to do is we're going to get back on it and we're going to start pulling off the fuel tank. We're going to get the battery out and we're going to start pulling it down to where I need for it to be when the other parts start coming in. It's going to be a few days before everything starts to arrive, so we're going to go ahead and get it all torn down so that when we get the parts we can get it back together a lot quicker. Pretty smart, huh? Some say I'm smart, but others say I'm a smart ass. Either way, we get the job done. So first off, we're going to go ahead and get the seat off of here. And we all know how to get the seat off, right? That's not something that I should be showing you, right? Because people who watch my channel are smart guys. Like I said, smart asses or smart guys. We'll take all of you guys. Alright. Woo! This thing is dirty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull off our dual heated gear stuff. Okay, we'll go ahead and pull off the plugs here. Come on. There you go. There we go. Okay, we'll set these aside. So on this bike, I've actually got cameras. I got a front and back camera, and it's a Blue Sky C, something like that. And you could actually mount it up on the dash with a little screw attachment and stuff. But I just put it here where the tools are supposed to be because that's just where it goes best. And I was having a problem with it not recording any video. So let's go ahead and see if it recorded something. Okay, so it looks like it's trying to record, so we're all right. When you get this much power drain on your bike battery, you tend to go through a battery pretty quick. But fortunately, my batteries lasted a very long time, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and replace it so that I can eliminate a battery problem later on. And as far as batteries go, I actually bought a Caltrix or Caltrix, somewhere around there, some tricks. And we're gonna use that brand because why not, right? No, seriously, I used their brakes, and I thought their brakes were very good quality, and they've been stopping my bike ever since I put them on there, so pretty happy. So we're going to go ahead and use it. So we're going to go ahead and pull off the battery. I can clean these up while I got these out. Ooh, they're dusty. Set those out of the way. Alright, so our battery now. Our battery has a lot of things connected to it. One thing I wanted to do is clean some of this rat's nest up, and that's what we will definitely do while we have the battery out. We'll go ahead and clean all this mess up right here. Get it looking a little more neater. Because as I was putting this stuff on, I was just kind of throwing it in there, and didn't really have the time to sit and make sure that it was right. So right now we're going to make sure everything is right as rain. I've actually got a really neat setup here. I can actually control independently 4-way. I can control my gloves and my socks independently, and on this side I can control my jacket and my pants. It's a real sweet setup. And this right here is a setup for a charger in the back there. I'm gonna have to wire that up much better than it was. It's kind of just stripped wire stuffed in there and tightened down. Like I said, it was a quick little job. For most of these things, I just did it real quick so I can get back on the road. But we're going to have to do a much better job. Look at that little battery. This little battery is still good. I'm not going to toss it or recycle it. I can use this for my little transfer pump for my water tanks and everything. So I'll just put it right there because that is a good one. My son's about to take a bunch of my old solar batteries in to recycle, and I don't want to mix that one in. So, okay, so we got all the electronics disconnected. We can leave that right there. When we go and have these rerouted and done much better, they're all going to be back here. All my fuses are going to be back here so that everything is neat and tidy. I can't stand this. So it's kind of good that we're getting this done. All right, to get the fuel tank off, we're still going to have to remove this. My screw is missing, which I have it in my shopping cart. I just haven't pressed send yet. So I want to go ahead and get the plugs off. If you ever wondered how the speedometer on your bike comes off, well, that's it. Not sure how much fuel is in here, but it's going to be a little heavy. Okay, that is a 12 millimeter. All right, I'm going to take the camera down. Right under here is the first line that I'm going to pull off. You see that orange tab right there? There's a little groove right there on the left side of it that you could put your little flathead screwdriver in, and it should pop that retainer right out. And when I show it to you, you'll see exactly what I mean. See that? And that will actually come right off. No problem at all. Okay, so I believe that one was actually the fuel pump. Boy, I can smell it now. Okay, so there's just one little vacuum line that comes off right here. And a little fuel came out of that one too. Woo! Gonna get high. Gonna get high. Nah, I don't want to. Alright, so there's going to be another plug. So it's probably going to be up in this area. There's another to the emissions. Another one right here, up on top of the tank here. And when you get these off, make sure that you save all the little clips, because all these little clips need to be back on. That, I think, is it. Okay, I think this fuel tank is ready to come off. Take another quick look around. I think it is. All right. I have a feeling I just fueled my bike, so this is going to be heavy. There we go. Kind of got to pull back and up a little bit. I forgot the power plug to the... That's probably going to do it. All right. Take two. Perfect. Yeah, this is kind of full. It's like an $800 fuel tank. Brand new. Alright, so as you can see, here's a wire plug cluster here. That was very smart for them to put that there because that's under the fuel tank. No water will get up underneath there because it's well protected in this area. So, yes, okay, well, what are we going to do next? Well, I can see right here, and let me show you. Right here is where the fuel injectors are. See that double shiny thing right there and right there? That is a bracket that holds the injectors into its housing. So I'm not going to disrupt those right now until I get the actual injectors so that I could pop those. Wait a minute. Look at what I got here. I got the injectors. I just remembered seeing the message that they arrived. So I do have the injectors. So let's get that rail off. What we're going to have to do is remove some of these hoses and get them out of the way. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to strip this down. I'm going to pause the video, strip it down, and then show you more closely where those injectors are. It's a heck of a lot easier with the fuel tank off. Alrighty, guys. it wasn't hard exposing these injectors, and they definitely want you to take them off on this side. And the only thing that was difficult, and I'm going to share this little trick with you right now. The only thing that was difficult is this plug going down right here. And I had to get down under here with the little tiny flathead, get it up in there and push the tab to pop it off. If you shine your light up in there like that, you'll see it. Let me see if I can get a good view of it for you. Yeah, right there. You just barely see it. See if I can get a even better shot for you. See. Let me see. It's really hard to see up in there. Where are you? You get the idea. It's the plug right here. So just find that below, and you'll be able to find that little tab. I used a long flathead, real small flathead. Okay, so in order to get this injector rail thingy off, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to remove that Allen screw. So there's another fuel line right here. That's probably that's attached to this one that we got off earlier. So once I undo this is probably going to come right out. So no biggie there. I'm not going to disrupt that right now if I don't have to. So okay, so I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to get this rail off here. That's what I'm going to call it, the fuel rail. And then we'll get those new injectors on. Okay guys, here is something that I'm going to share with you. Here's a little tips to the trade here. All right, that screw right there that you're seeing right there, that holds on the bracket that holds the fuel injectors on. Okay, now you see that nut? I put the right size Allen socket, and guess what? It started stripping out. So I put a T30 Torx bit in there, and it fit in there beautifully, and I was able to get it loose, as you can see. Okay, so now I'm going to finish removing that bracket. There you go. You see that? Let's put this over to the side here. So now we go to the other side. Okay, here we go. Here are the injectors. Voila. Looks like the seals got stuck in there, so we'll go ahead and pull those out real quick. Be very careful when you're popping these O-rings out, because those are sealed, and you want to keep those as sealed as possible. Keep any unmetered air out of your engine. And that goes for cars and trucks and any other engine. Okay, so it sits down in there like this, so we got to remember to put our new ones in there, just like that. Okay, as you can see, I got them in there just the same way that they came out of there, just like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of like lubricant on these here. I'll probably use some brake free. If you follow my channel enough, you'll know that I rely on brake free tremendously. It's some good stuff. Just kind of got to work them in there because they go in that weird angle. Okay, so we're going to take a look at where we have them. They're all in place. They're locked in and they're ready to go. Just like so. See how those are? The bracket here is in its little grooves. There's little tabs that they have to slide into. Everything is good to go on that end. So I'm going to go ahead and put this bolt and that bolt back in, the bracket, and reattach that fuel line. Alrighty guys, so when you slide this bracket back in, you might have to adjust the injectors a little bit because there's little grooves that slide into the connectors here, and right now it's all in. And I got the fuel line back in there, it's snapped in. Just keep in mind, anytime you're working on an engine of any type, if you put a wire or a hose on, put the connector on right away. You know, the hose clamp or whatever it is. Snap it in. Push the lock pin in so that you don't make the mistake in leaving like this off and you go fire up your bike and fuel starts spraying off into that way, which that's something you don't want. Especially if it did it going down the road and you have exhaust, hot exhaust pipes. That just would not be a good thing. So, okay, so the only thing left now is to go ahead and plug up all of the things that I've unplugged. And let's see about that. Not too much here, just some wires. Okay. I didn't unplug them too long ago, so they all should be real easy to get. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to the rest. Alrighty, guys, so we got all the wires and plugs and stuff plugged back in, and we're all set to go for the injectors. The next thing on my list would be to change the plugs. We got a plug here and got a plug there. This plug is accessible from over here on this side. You just got to remove this hose and pop this heat switch here off so that you can get your socket down in here. Okay, and that's all easy. I'll show that to you as soon as I get the spark plugs. I'm not going to open the engine up anymore. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and plug up the hole as much as I can right here, because we don't want any excess moisture getting into the engine, because it is humid in the mornings here, but being in the garage, there shouldn't be too much humidity. But yeah, okay, well, when we come back, we're going to reinstall the battery and wire up all that really nice and tight so it looks good and it's nice solid connections. Everything's routed. Butterflies on the inside, I'm going to clean those up. We're going to get in there with a brush and clean them up. I'm not going to spray any brake cleaner in there or anything. I'm just going to use a little bit of brake free and scrub any carbon, because remember, brake free is for cleaning guns, and it will clean the carbon or anything that is built up around those there, around the throttle body. And then I'll stuff little rags down there to dry up the excess. But if any brake free gets into the cylinders, not a problem at all. It's not going to hurt the engine at all. So yeah, well, and I'll also be changing the neutral switch because for some reason that went out again. Let me show you. I still have the old one, and that is exactly how recent it's been. Okay, I replaced this with an OEM. So I should have got the same mileage as I got out of this, right? Well, wrong. It's acting up again, and that's just a little switch. And you see how that's flat right there? Well, the new one was very rounded. It stuck out quite a bit. So I don't know what happened, but it's acting up again the same way it did when I replaced this, and when I put a new one in there, it acted fine. Why that's going out so fast, wearing down, I do not know. It's news to me. If you have the same problem, then definitely comment below to let me know that I'm not the only one that's replaced these. This has only got 38,000 miles on it. I expect these to go out, but not after only 10,000 miles, because that's how long ago I changed this, about 10,000 miles. It should not have gone out already. So, okay, well, that's going to do it for now. I'm going to turn the camera off, and we'll see you back when I get some more parts. Oh, and by the way, here's the actual fill for the radiator system. If you dumped all of your fluid doing a fluid change, you would pull the tank off, and you would start filling it up right here. And that's where you would put the water in. The container that's down under that silver cover, that's just an overflow, and you do want that at a certain level as well. I'll show you how to check that without pulling anything off. I discovered that, and it makes it a world of difference. All right, and just before we go, I wanted to let you know that these are the coils. There's one for the front cylinder, one for the back. And this is something else that I was thinking maybe was having an issue because of the miss it had. But when we're thinking of the glowing pipe, a bad coil would not cause a lean condition, because that's what we've got, is a lean condition. So, all right, I know I ramble a lot, but it's all for the good. So, all right, guys, it's going to be a flash of the camera for you, but it's going to be a couple days for me. Well, we're back. We're going to finish up the motorcycle.
Your rock hard wood got wet.
Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. We're working back on the Kawasaki today. I know it seemed like a flash of the camera for you folks, but it's actually been a week. It took that long to get the part. It is now Christmas morning, and I'm out here opening my presents. And something new in the garage is right there. Look at that, guys. We got a nice solid door. No more plastic covering the hole. I just need to get some locks for it now, and then we'll be golden. But yeah, that's one addition. We got some lumber here. We're actually going to build us a garage door right here. I already got the hinges installed, so we're all set right there, ready for the new door. Yeah, I know some says a wooden door. Are you crazy? But no, I'm not crazy. Just wait and see. That'll be another project video coming up soon. So anyway, back to this thing. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and set the camera down. I'm going to clean the throttle body. I'll show you what it looks like in there because it is kind of a dirty mess. We'll open that up right there. Let's see if I can get a light on there. Well, you can see when I open up the throttle here. Maybe you can or maybe not. It's pretty dirty. You can see right at the base here, there's a lot of dirt and grime in there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the throttle body as much as I can from the outside. And I'll show it to you when I get done. Be right back, guys. Alrighty, guys. So I've cleaned out the throttle body. And look at how dirty this rag is. This was a brand new rag, too. So we definitely got it. Oh my goodness, look how much cleaner it is. You can see it so good. There's a little bit on that butterfly right there, little crusties. Oh my goodness. Just a second ago when I was showing you this, you couldn't see in there, but now you can like really see it in there. That's awesome. So that goes to show you, man, that was really, really dirty. I wonder if I could get like something in here to so yeah, all right, not bad at all. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Look how much cleaner that throttle body looks. Awesome. Okay, let's move forward. I think that really has improved the way that throttle body looks. It looks really clean, even beyond the butterflies. You may not be able to see it, but that is actually very clean. So much cleaner than it was to begin with. So. And the reason why I cleaned them like this is because I didn't want to take apart and break these seals of the throttle body on the so-called intake. So I did it this way, and I think it came out beautiful. It is crystal clean on the, I don't know, cylinders, ports, whatever you want to call it. They're ported and polished. But anyway, so now I'm going to get the air filter back in, and then we'll go ahead and do the plugs. Stay with us, guys. This is a fun thing. We're hopefully going to get our bike back. Friday's supposed to be clear, so we're going to go ahead and ride. Hopefully. We'll see. Be right back. Okay, guys, we've got this tight back in. These bolts here that hold this on is going into aluminum, so you really do not want to over tighten these. And you can't tighten these up till they're rock hard like you can something on a steel frame because it's aluminum, and aluminum is pretty soft when it comes to thin threads. So when you tighten them up, just make sure you get to the specified torque for these bolts here. I would call that air filter box to intake, something like that, if you need to ask for it. So we're going to get this clamp moved back down here. We're all plugged in back here. Don't forget this temperature sensor here. This tells the bike how cold or hot the air is that's coming into the engine. So, alrighty. We're going to now install the new filter. This is an OEM. This is a real Kawasaki filter, and the part number 11013-0015. See, made in Japan. Japanese bike. Part from Japan. Go figure. Alright, so we're going to get that installed. All it takes to install that is just this one little bolt right here. Let me get that up there and show you. Okay, one last thing to worry about is this seal right here. Make sure that seal all the way around there is completely clean. Like there's some debris right there. I'm going to have to clean that out before I put the filter in. And make sure it's clean all the way around before you reassemble this. That way you won't have any leaks. All right, this thing goes up into here just like that. So the only bolt that holds this on here is just to hold it in place until it can actually tighten down. But is that one right there? And I believe it's this one right here. And we'll just tighten this guy down just enough to snug him up. And that just basically holds it on long enough to get the cover on. So all of you know that it was actually damaged. I had that blowout there. It's probably some backfire. And then it's like $100, and I don't want to buy one right now. So I've been trying to find a good one used. But that is really hard. And you can see my pajamas. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this baby on. Okay, so now that we got this back on and everything, we're going to change the plugs. And now that the fuel tank is off, this is the perfect time to change the plugs, because from this side here, I will have to remove this off so I can pull it back some. But from this side, the front one is easy to get to, and the rear cylinder, the other side, is easier to get to. And just gotta pop this. I need both hands. But, and this thing can come off. You don't have to pull this off, but I like to pull it up and out of the way so I can get my ratchet in there easier. You can probably do it without, but if you want to pull it off like I do, it just slides off of that bracket right there because it's got a rubber grommet on it. Okay, so for gap setting your new Kawasaki plugs, see if I can get that to focus. 0.030. There you go. Now you can see it. I could have told you, but showing you was more fun for me. And that's the gap distance for the plugs for this bike. Now the plugs really do, a lot of times they come gapped at that specific setting. So just double check and then your plug will be all right. So let's get the first plug out. That's going to be this one right here. All right, here's the first plug. Okay, this was not the one running hot, but it is pretty dirty. Alrighty guys, these two came out of the bike, and you can see that they look pretty much the same. They look pretty much the same, but they are fouling out, man. Something's been not running right, so we gotta figure that out. The gap settings appear to be the same. I'll go ahead and put the feeler gauge in there, and if there's any change, then I'll tell you. If the gap setting's fine, I won't say anything about it, but if it's different, I'll show it. But yep, these are the old plugs. This one came off the one that was running hot and lean and hot, but they look pretty much identical. Alrighty, so now on to the battery issues. One thing that I've had an issue with is clumpy wires down here. And I hate disorganized things, but when you're going to work every day and stuff and you want to install something, you kind of do it half-ass. And then later on, every time you see it, you're like, man, I wish I had time. Well, I got time right now. We're going to go ahead and organize it. I've used a nice little void here to hold my riding camera equipment, all the wires to it. Since I'm not cutting and shortening those wires, that's a nice little place for it to hide. And it's attached to the ground here, and then it's getting a positive voltage from somewhere else where the key kicks on. That turns the camera on. So anyway, this is the wires from my charging system in here. I have a little plug-in thing to charge USB devices, and there's even a cigarette lighter in there, and it'll charge USB charge up the phone. It's a nice handy little doodad to have when you need it. But these wires are extremely long, and I want to shorten them up so that it's a lot neater in here, because I don't want to mess, because I still have my charge control or my controller units for my heated gear that need to go in here next. So I'm going to shorten up these wires, solder them, shrink wrap them so that they look nice, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how that's set up. Okay, folks, when you're wiring up anything, it's always good to solder, especially if it's going to be outdoors. Never just twist and wrap with electrical tape, because when electrical tape gets hot, it unravels and it's no good. So always use a good shrink wrap over any soldered connection or any connection at all. And when you're soldering in things like this or installing things like this, don't crimp them. Don't waste your time with a failed connection. Right there, man. Solder it down permanently, and you'll never have a problem with that connection. I'm gonna let that cool down a bit. We'll get it wired up. Okay, so we got these wires shortened by several inches, and they're just loose on here right now because I haven't tightened everything down, because I got a little bit more connections to make to the battery before we're ready to tighten things down. But now let's go to the next thing. It's these things right here. These are my wiring harnesses for each of my charging control units. Let's get those wired up. Alrighty guys, well, we've got the battery rewired. It's all in there. The wiring is very, very neat and tidy, as you can see. And now all that's left is to fire it up and see how she runs. I'm kind of nervous about this because it was running like crap before. Let's see how she runs. Now, it might take some cranking time to get it running because the fuel lines were emptied out and whatnot. So let's see what kind of problems we have starting this up. Boy, I'm nervous. Wish me luck, guys. Okay, get this. Let's see if the new battery's charged. Sounded pretty good. Okay. Keep in mind, guys, this guy's got 38,000 miles on the odometer. Okay, let's see how she fires up. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, guys, well, after a little bit of tinkering, she's running pretty good. So we'll give you an update on how she's running in a little while. We'll do an update video, but for right now, that's going to wrap it up on the 2019 Vulcan. We did the injectors, spark plugs, air filter, replaced the battery, did some rewiring to clean things up, and she's all riding good so far. I'll let you know on an update. Take care, stay safe, stay free.